Hey, hey, hey. Let's go some more of this game. Kingdom Come Deliverance. So you remember after the last video, the big cutscene, having to run from the town to seek refuge and to warn the other village. That was the main quest there, like run. I have to talk to Sir Robard. Ah, the lockpick, huh? Oh crap! I haven't got a lockpick. Oh crap!
Hey, who's there? sign of anyone. God knows what it was.
Must eat.
Hey, you've no business
Someone
here.
there.
Clear off or you'll be sorry.
We got a bandage.
I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
You fled from Skalitz?
Sigismund's army appeared out of nowhere. It was so...
Heavens above!
They began murder.
How terrible.
I have bled to death. Well, that's just great. Because I fell down a ladder. And it puts me back here. So I'm...
You've done well, lad. I heard about your father. They say he was a swordsman.
You're that lad from Skalitz.
Where are you going?
In heaven's name?
I can't understand why he'd waste his talents, but I'm sure. Ah, milady. You're fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad.
Okay, well, I guess I'd die after the cutscene then.
No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not?
Certainly, milady.
Oh, for goodness sake! Right, try again.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss. You must be all done in. Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach. I heard about your father. To make horseshoes. I can't understand why he'd waste his talents, but I'm sure he had a fine reputation. It's a great loss.
Ah, milady. You're fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Oh, God. Eat. Food.
Primarily cabbage, onions, parsnips, turnips, beets and garlic. to a lesser extent carrots, parsley, cucumbers, melons, peas, lentils, beans, fruit, apples, pears, cherries and plums and berries, nuts, seeds and cereals. Eggs, milk and cheese were available all year round. The most popular kinds of food in the 14th and 15th centuries were thick broth soups, purees and sauces for dunking bread in. That's a dream for Gordon Ramsay then, I guess. The bread was rye with white bread only available at court. Many ingredients that are common today were unavailable in the Middle Ages, such as potatoes, tomatoes, sweet corn, peppers and rice, which later made their way to Europe after the discovery of America or as imports from Asia. I will take a bread roll. Oh, there's roast duck.
You're that lad from Scarlett's? What in heaven's name happened there?
It was a fine sunny day until Sigismund came with his army. I saw him sitting there with his red beard and proud posture as he gave the signal to attack.
Oh no!
I ran to the castle for shelter with the others. Behind me I could hear the shouts of the attackers and the screams of the wounded. Then I turned and saw Father trying to save Mother. They were both killed. The gate was closed by then. The men on the battlements were calling to me to run and warn you here. And with God's help I made it.
That's horrible. You were very fortunate to survive. And God bless you for warning us. I'll pray for you, lad.
Oh, damn it, I'm hungry.
What, I'm still hungry? I need the bed. Yeah, great.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady. No, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady. Thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace, to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you, but I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
I could do with a bite to eat.
So you're always thinking about food.
You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands. A fellow by the name of Kunish owed money to Father, who sent me to collect it from him. Only Kunish had no intention of paying. It got a bit heated, as often happens when there's money involved, but Kunish still wouldn't cough up the coin. Father was too generous for his own good, letting even a scoundrel like that buy on credit.
Oh.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home. I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzig. Father and I always chat in the forge. On that particular day, I asked him if he'd teach me swordsmanship. He said no. He said it's better for a man to keep his head on his shoulders than lose it over some pointless heroism. If only you'd known what fate had in store for us.
Oh.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town. I saw smoke on the horizon from a village Sigismund pillaged on the way to our town, which was soon to meet the same fate.
God have mercy.
And then death descended on Skalitz. Father told me to take shelter in the castle while he went to get Mother. She was stranded in the town, surrounded by Sigismund's butchers. And then I saw him knocking down one human after another. I never saw him fight like that. But then the leader of Sigismund's raiding party, a knight in full armour, saw Father and charged at him. He cut down my father without a thought. And then he turned on my mother. And he murdered her in cold blood.
You poor boy. May the Lord have mercy on their souls.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I needed a horse to get to the safety of Talmberg and to warn you all.
And with all that was happening, you thought of others like a good Christian.
Then I heard a scream. It was Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her. I wanted to help her. God knows I wanted to. Even though I had the sword we made for Sir Radzig, they had me outnumbered and they were well armed too. I only just managed to grab one of their horses and ride off. I couldn't help her any more than I could have helped my parents.
It wasn't your fault.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years? And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night, my lady.
soon. Don't be a coward.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is that? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
Some historical stuff before I wrap this one up, this session, because I've got 32 minutes on the clock. Girls had a short childhood, reaching the age of maturity between 12 and 15 years of age. Boys became grown-ups at 15. Men spent most of their time at their craft, trading and swordsmanship depending on their station in life, while women attended to housework and family. It was not unusual for one to be a mother 3 or 4 times over by the age of 20. Births were complicated and aftercare inadequate, so the risk of death in childbirth was great. Alright. So, see you next time.